Beowulf, is it? Unferth said, and everything stopped. Beowulf? I've heard of a Beowulf. We're telling stories. I'll tell you a story. I heard a story of a Beowulf, and I'm not saying it's you. But there was a Beowulf that I heard tell had a swimming competition with Breca. You know Breca? We all know Breca! Famous warrior Breca, very strong as any of the shielding warriors, for sure. And Beowulf and Breca, bitter rivals. They swam across a dangerous strait of the ocean, and it took them 6 days. 6 days across those waves, but I heard that this Beowulf, and I'm not saying it's you, this Beowulf was washed up on the far shore a whole day after Breca made landfall. And I'm not saying it's you. But if it was, why do you think that you can defeat a monster that none of the shielding warriors have been able to best if you can't win a simple swimming competition? And Beowulf stood up, and the mead bench fell over, and several people around him fell to the floor, and he stared right at Unferth, and everything went very, very quiet. You are drunk! And good thing too, or I might take what you just said as an insult to me. But I can see that you are not in control of what you say right now. I will tell you the real story. It is true. I am that Beowulf. I did have a swimming contest with Breca, but not as rivals. We were friends, bosom brothers. We decided that we would swim across that ocean strait as a test of our strength together, not to see who would get there first. And the elders of our tribe, they told us it was too dangerous, we shouldn't do it, but we were prepared. We thought about our safety. We went in full armor, with our swords unsheathed at our sides, in case there should be any sea monsters on our journey. We dived into the waves, and we swam. And it is true, we swam for days. And I could tell, almost immediately, as I was plowing my way easily through those waves, I looked and I saw Breca trying his hardest. I was not going to leave Breca behind, though I could easily have done so. Breca was my friend. He was my brother in arms. We would swim together, and I would stay and protect my friend on this journey. And we would have both arrived at the far shore together. But on that 6th day, a terrible storm blew up. The waves grew huge, and try as we might, we were separated. Breca was washed up onto that far shore, and I was dragged down into the deeps and into the arms of a terrible sea monster. It closed its teeth around my midriff, and thank goodness I had been wearing my armor, because otherwise I would not be here to tell you this story. But as it was, I was able to use my sword to cut the beast into 100 meaty chunks. And its blood stained the waves, and I began to swim towards the surface, but the blood in the water, it had awoken the tastes of deeper creatures, and they began worming their way up out of the caves at the bottom of the ocean floor. They coiled themselves around me, they dragged me down to the depths, and I took my sword and I cut them into 1,000 pieces. And it is true that I swam up to that far beach a day after Breca had made it there. But you know what washed up in the shore alongside me? The bodies of 9 sea monsters! Yay. Count them, 9! I don't know anybody else who's done anything like that I've heard of. I am a monster slayer. That is what I do. What do you do, Unferth? Because I'll tell you, I've heard story of an Unferth, and I'm not saying it's you. But the only thing of note that I've heard that Unferth do was kill his own brother. And there was a noise in the hall just like that. And I'm not saying it's you, Unferth, but if it is, maybe you should shut up and leave monster killing to the professionals.